right, let me just merge here, guys. Hey, good morning. Thank you for joining me on my Corvette channel. And yes, we're going to do what every other automotive channel on YouTube is doing right now ever since Chevrolet Corvette has become the fastest American production car at the Nürburgring. We're going to talk about it. We're going to dissect it. And I'd said once they publish these times, please, Chevrolet, don't leave us with any questions. In fact, questions that need to be answered. We're going to talk about that on today's show. You're also going to see the first exclusive ZR1 owner gift options, stuff you get if you're lucky enough to get a ZR1 that you don't get if you get a Stingray, Z06, or E-Ray. My name is Rick. I've been selling this car for 30 years, and we're not done yet. We're having too much fun. Welcome to Coffee with Conti. So let's jump right into it. Let's address the elephant in the room. Now, don't discard the fact that we're not proud that the Corvette is America's fastest production car on the ring, but we're left with questions. And it's only because of the manner in which Chevrolet accomplished this. If you watched the video we did on Thursday, it was amazing. At the very end of the video, I shared all three cars, Z06, ZR1, ZR1X, raw PDR footage. I've been looking at that, dissecting it. In fact, we got a couple of frames I'm going to share with you in just a moment, and you'll see why we have some questions and why there's still more out there for us to prove. In fact, on Instagram, you guys have seen this, and I absolutely love it. The trash talk between Ford and Corvette. Now, Jim Farley goes on Instagram and says, "Congratulations, Team Corvette, game on." And then Corvette responds, "We're ready." So what does that mean? Is this a setup? Do we know that there is, we clearly, I'm going to tell you why here in a minute, we clearly know that there's got to be better times to be had on Corvette, even though we are the fastest American production car. I don't think we've seen it all yet out of these two cars. And I do love the banter back and forth between Ford and Corvette. This is, kind of feels like high school. It's kind of fun right now, and what a game that we're playing at this level. Oh my gosh. First, let me address this though. Little concerned, and you guys have told me the same thing. It was great to see the times, ZR1, but I was shocked that the ZR1X, the all-wheel drive version of ZR1, was only a second faster. Let's again not discard the fact that we have the bragging rights as America's fastest production car out there, but because of the manner in which we accomplished it, the questions right now remain, why did we have different drivers in each of the cars? And it was great, again, bragging rights that we're using our drivers, our engineers that helped design this car that are very capable. I mean, their times proved it, but because Chevrolet said that, it leaves you with the question, well, is there a better time if you used a professional driver? And if that's the case, and all the money and all the time that you spent preparing for this event, why would you not use the best to put the very best number forward? Why would you leave us with any more questions that there's still more ability out of this car than what you're showing us? I mean, do we need a pro driver? What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Do we need a pro driver to show us the nth degree, the full capabilities of the ZR1 and the ZR1X? Number one, you got to know the track. I'd love to see a couple of different people behind the wheel actually giving us times. How about Oliver Gavin? Put him behind the wheel. Let me see what he can do at Nürburgring. How about Jim Merrow? I had the pleasure of meeting Jim and interviewing him, talking about his escapades testing the C7 ZR1 on the Nürburgring. He knows that track. I would love to see what he's capable of in the C8 ZR1X. What we're talking about is the fastest American production car. We're comparing it to the Mustang GTD. Is that really a production car like Corvette is produced? They have a race team that's building the GTD. So if that's the case, let's go back to comparables. Let's have Pratt Miller give us a C8R. Let's go out there. Let's test the C8R out there. Put Oliver Gavin in a C8R on the Nürburgring and let me see what that time is. Now we're talking. And it's great to have those bragging rights, and thank goodness that this tattoo was AI generated, because I think that time, it's kind of a cute tattoo, I think that time is going to be altered again yet, just because of the banter going on right now between Ford and Team Corvette. But real quick, let's talk about our team and the people that accomplished what they did in those two cars, the ZR1 and the ZR1X, just recently at Nürburgring. Number one, the undertaking and the prep time was just incredible. reserving that track, warming the tires. Did you guys see this part?
When the car comes in, we had a very short amount of time to turn that around to go back out. So the car had to go up on jack stands, tires removed. There had to be a safety check to make sure that nothing's cracked, nothing's broken, so that the car can actually make another lap. And then we had to get fans on the radiators to make sure the engine can get cooled back down so we're not robbing power due to temperature. So all of that had to happen in a very quick fashion so that we can then get tires back on the car, drop it, and then roll as quickly as we could. We had 3 cars and we had 3 teams of 3. Each car before it leaves has to have hot tires put on it. So we had 8 tire ovens available. So the challenge is the tires need 2 hours to be able to heat up to temperature before we can actually put them on the car. It's an orchestrated effort of when cars go out, when tires go in the ovens, and having some forethought to what cars are going to need to run, because there's a very short window for when we were able to make fast laps based on the track temperature.
It is amazing how calculated everything was. But here's the thing, I'm going to pull over here in a second. I'm going to show you 2 slides and why I think that with our own drivers, we've left more questions. Not to discard the driving ability of our engineers, but if a professional driver would make the difference, then let's see what that is all about. All right, let me pull over here real quick. I want to show you guys these slides and why I think because we use different drivers within our own team on these cars is why we still have more questions. I mean, watching this footage, I've watched it several times and I'll probably watch it another couple hundred times just dissecting it, but I just pulled one frame out of here. I want you to see something. This is the ZR1 compared to the ZR1X. Both cars driven by different drivers. And again, very capable drivers. But if you look at these 2 frames, on the top is the ZR1, on the bottom is the ZR1X. Knowing the track, also the ability of the drivers gives you the output on the times. Why was there only a 1 second difference between ZR1X and ZR1? I just think that car is certainly much more capable than what we saw. And even with my limited tracking experience, I can now look at this data and I can understand it, and that's why I wanted to share it with you guys. The top slide is the ZR1, the bottom is the ZR1X. And I try to use it, looks like I'm really close to having the exact same spot on the track for a true comparable conversation right now between these 2 cars. So the ZR1 is doing 107 coming out of this turn, 4th gear, about 3/4 throttle. Look down in the lower left, you can see he's pulling 1.6 Gs out of that turn. His RPMs right now over 7,000 RPMs, but look at his steering angle. That's important to this. His steering angle, the steering wheel is almost pointed straight, only 7 degrees right there. Look below at the ZR1X. His steering angle is 42 degrees. He's turning that steering wheel. Look back at this slide here, just before he approached that turn, he was at 57%. He was really turning that car hard, pulling 2 Gs into that turn, still in 4th gear, but only just above 6,000 RPM. Let's go back to the comparable slide. So on the bottom, the ZR1X also in 4th gear, turning the steering wheel hard at 42 degrees. He's 9 miles an hour slower than what the ZR1 is, but in basically the same point of the track, the ZR1X right now is 2 seconds faster than the ZR1. His Gs he's pulling in that turn is 1.7. Guys, it's hard. The PDR doesn't depict that. When you're sitting in the seat and you're feeling that, it really requires some talent and some knowledge to handle the car at those speeds and at those Gs. So let's look at these pictures again, knowing that there's 2 different drivers in these cars. The ZR1 is basically coming out of that turn almost straight. He's close to the apex, but he's not on top of it. But if you look at the ZR1X, turning the steering wheel very hard, he's on top of that apex. 2 different driving styles, and that's exactly why we have questions on the times that these guys generated in the car. And guys, there's comparables like that throughout the entire PDR footage that Chevrolet, thank you for sharing that with us, allows us to really understand and educate ourselves on this car. If we want a true maxed best time, you need to have a consistency as far as the driver. What's the true ability, the top ability of that driver that you're putting behind the wheel? Is it a pro driver or is it our engineers? But have the same guy drive both cars. I want to see what those results are. I'd love to see what the guy did the time of the ZR1X, what he would have done in the ZR1, vice versa? I think that's a good question. Again, a question I think we need answered. The question is Chevrolet going to spend the time and the money? It's taken so long to get there now. Do you think they're going to do this again? I mean, maybe they're going to be nudged because of the stuff that Ford's saying. But here's something else to think about. Maybe this whole thing is a setup. Maybe it's a sham. Maybe we have the times that we're asking that we haven't seen yet. Maybe they did that already. And the next video comes out and says, Corvette is already the fastest American production car. We did it with our drivers. Now we put it to the ultimate test. A pro driver, the best speed ever in the world. Blah, blah. I mean, they could come out with something like that. Basically, I hope you guys appreciate the conversation that we're having today on our Coffee with Conti show, dissecting these times and trying to understand the logic behind it. And our very own engineers and drivers did a fantastic job. But because Chevrolet identified that as such, are they telling us that there is a better time to be had? If so, let's see it. Man, what a great conversation today. Thank you again for joining us. Let's head back to the office. I want to share with you now, thanks to our customer Michael in Florida, we have this to share, the ZR1 owner gift pack. Now, when you buy a new Corvette, you get that nice little molded model, but you get a few more extra things when you get a ZR1. Again, if you're lucky enough to get a ZR1. All right, guys, let's talk about the ZR1 exclusive gift offer you get if you're lucky enough to get a ZR1. But keep in mind, if you buy a new Stingray, E-Ray, or Z06, you get a discounted course using their cars to the Ron Fellows Performance Driving School. This is eligible for new Corvette purchases. You have a year to redeem the coupon. It's $1,000 if you take that course, and it's certainly worth every penny, and Chevrolet pays the rest. As a ZR1 owner, that's what we're talking about now. You get that course as part of your purchase. Also included with every new Corvette purchase is a speed shape model of your car. Painted in the color of your car with your VIN number on the plaque, it is molded in the shape of the car you bought, whether it's a coupe or a convertible. Stingray, E-Ray, Z06, and ZR1. However, I think ZR1s will be exempt from high wings because those are currently on constraint. But let's talk specifically about ZR1. Remember, you get the speed shape model. You get the entire course to the Ron Fellows Performance Driving School. Shortly after delivery, you'll get an email from Chevrolet. It'll direct you to the CorvetteOwnerGift.com website. You'll need an access code to get it because in addition to everything we just talked about, you get to choose one of the three following gifts. And they include the Low Tough Weekender Duffel or Zip Top Tote. I'm actually kind of curious what my customer Michael chose. Here's the other gift you can choose, one of three, the Golf Travel Collection. You get something for the golf bag, you get a nice towel, you get a couple other bags in there. That's a nice little package there, again, when you buy a new ZR1 Corvette only. And the other gift you can choose from is a leather jacket, a Corvette leather jacket. I don't know if I'm saying this right, Pilati Corvette racing shoes. You get both of those in one of those gift packs that you're allowed to choose when you buy a new ZR1. And I love these driving shoes. It has Corvette on the side, it has a Corvette emblem down where your foot rests, and it even has a Corvette emblem on the top of the tongue. So which one did my customer Michael pick? He's a big-time golfer. I thought for sure he'd pick the golf package. No, he picked the jacket and the racing shoes. Hope you guys enjoyed today's Coffee with Conti. I am keeping my foot on the gas. This week, Tuesday, I'll be in Bowling Green for yet another guy picking up his new Corvette, actually on the day of his 60th birthday. We did that for the first time ever earlier this year. We're going to do it one more time for you guys, Tuesday at the National Corvette Museum. And fingers crossed that my schedule permits, I'm going to go back to pit race for a little high-speed driving of my car. Oh my gosh, I've been dying to get on that track, and I think mentally I'm ready to go. I want to share that experience with you guys. I want to improve my times. I'm going to enjoy the car for what it was intended for. Once you experience that, wow, man, it's really something. And then the following Sunday on August 10th here in the Columbus, Ohio area at the Fortress at Obetz, this is something I encourage you guys to do and experience because it's easy to do. It's not invasive. You don't have to get track insurance. And it really is just a blast going through the cones in a low-speed autocross. This will be a continued competition between myself and Tracy. Unfortunately, the disc is damaged from our first one. We're still going to find a way to recover those files and share that with you. What a great experience. But this one, if you're in the Columbus, Ohio, Fortress and Obetz area, come by and watch us on August 10th for a low-speed autocross competition. Loser does have to wear the pink shirt. And one more thing real quick, you guys, another reminder, stuff coming up on the channel. I have the Solar Performance Throttle Controller. Love that freaking thing. Oh my gosh, we're going to talk more about that, the enhancements and the safety of it. But I also just added the Solar Performance Throttle Body. I'm going to give you a first-hand experience of what that's about, what's entailed with it, and what it can do for your Corvette. Stay tuned for that.